Grand Theft Auto 5 has revealed a shiny new first-person mode available on next-gen and PC versions of the game. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare launched earlier this week and has received much praise, and The Division may be able to bypass all the usual nonsense associated with Ubisoft. All of this today on your dose of gaming news. Ten days until Grand Theft Auto 5 is out on next-gen consoles, and then only 2 months after that until it is out on PC. And I have to say, personally, I am so excited for this because I was fortunate enough to play it on last-gen consoles before I ended up getting an Xbox One, and it was well worth it. I had so much fun playing the game, and I cannot wait to play that same game with 30+ players in a lobby and the graphics looking 20 times as good as they did on last-gen consoles. Now, it has been a year since the game did come out, but the wait was well worth it because not only are we getting a super good looking version of the game that we got before and other things on top of that, but we are also getting a first person mode, which they showed off in a trailer very recently, and it is amazing. It is jaw dropping. I did not even realize the game could look that good until you are in first person mode. And it's very immersive as well. I cannot wait to try it out. Now, it's not going to be that Grand Theft Auto feel that it has always had, but it will definitely be an icing on top of an already delicious cake, and I cannot wait to eat that cake. Let me tell you right now that I am going to indulge on that cake on both my Xbox One and my PC, because while it is not coming out on my PC for a while, I don't want to have to wait that long. I'm going to go ahead and get it on my Xbox One, because it is going to be something awesome and an amazing experience, because the game is just amazing. Now on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, the game is only going to be at 1080p with 30 FPS. However, that is so much better than it was. While it is still going to be at 30 FPS, it is going to be a consistent 30 FPS, probably not dropping below that, and it is going to be 1080p as opposed to standard definition as it was on last-gen consoles. On PC, however, you will be able to support up to 4K resolutions with 60+ frames per second, depending on how much your rig can handle it. And that's pretty awesome because I have a pretty powerful rig, and I'm definitely going to be able to run the game at some pretty high settings, and I am so looking forward to it. In other news, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare has been released, and it seems like the game is a little bit less duty and a lot more of doing its duty as a game. And I know that that is a lot of duties in one sentence, but I promise I'm trying to get a point across, and that is that Call of Duty Advanced Warfare is actually extremely fun and very promising. Now, compared to a lot of other Call of Duty games that have been coming out over the past several years, it definitely has to be one of the best, and a lot of people are comparing it to Call of Duty 4 and are saying that it is either as good as or better than that game, and that is a massive statement because Call of Duty 4 is one of the best shooters in general and considered by most people the best Call of Duty of all times. Compared to Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 2, which are also two Call of Duties that are very, very widely acclaimed as really good games, this game is probably better in a lot of instances because it is very fast-paced. You will not be searching around the map trying to find an enemy like you would in Call of Duty Ghosts and other games that just really seem slow-paced for a Call of Duty game. It's very fast-paced, and I know it has all these new exosuit double jumps and abilities and all that kind of stuff like that. However, it is sprinkled in there just right that it just fits, and it makes a really nice, brand new, refreshing Call of Duty experience that is very much needed. And a lot of people who were in the past big Battlefield fans or people who just hated Call of Duty and would always talk about how bad it was every single year have now come back, looked at this game, and actually given it a shot and have been pleasantly surprised by this brand new game being produced by Sledgehammer Games. And that's another really interesting point to talk about. It seems like a lot of new companies are coming into the throne of these massive big first-person shooter titles, such as Visceral Games taking over for Battlefield Hardline this year and Sledgehammer Games taking over for Call of Duty, and both games have turned out to be pretty good. I've played both games, and I have to say that I'm very impressed by these new companies coming in and spinning games around, giving it a refreshing new spin, and actually making it work and reviving series that before seemed somewhat hopeless. For my last and final story of today, I would like to talk to you guys about The Division, a new game coming out next year that I am personally looking forward to so much. And the question has arisen of whether or not Ubisoft is going to make some graphical downgrades for the game from what we have seen at previous events such as E3 and Gamescom, very similarly to what they did with Watch Dogs, to where the game runs the same on all platforms, both next-gen consoles and the PC. Even if some have better hardware than others, they made them pretty much the same, and actually they didn't really run very well because they were not optimized to each system. And that is what a lot of people are afraid of happening to The Division, because the game looks so good, almost too good to be true, and we don't want to see the same thing happen another time. However, Massive Entertainment's Martin Holberg did come out with a statement that can somewhat put us at ease for now. His statement read as follows: "Downgrading is a weird term to use. Obviously, we want to make a game that looks the best it can on its respective format, so Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. So I think the term downgrade is a bit confusing and weird because we're trying to get the most out of every machine we use. So Xbox gets its attention, PlayStation gets its attention, and PC of course will be able to cram it up a bit more depending on the hardware you have." So basically what this means is that Xbox, PlayStation 4, and PC versions will be pretty different depending on the hardware that is in each one of them. So Xbox may not be as good as PlayStation 4, but they will be very close. And then on PC, if you have a very beast PC, you can probably get the graphics pretty decently up there and make a decently significant change from what it looks like on the consoles themselves. In another statement, he also said, "We address every console, every platform as its own version. So we try to stay away from the thing where you go for the least common denominator and everybody suffers for it. We want to make a good experience on all respective platforms." And I personally could ask for nothing more. I would really like to see them actually optimize the game for each of its respective platforms and not do that stupid least common denominator thing that several games have done in the past that just pisses me off, because I don't want to have to play a game that could look better because I have the system that can run it on my PC, and then it just looks like it does on an Xbox One or PlayStation 4, which unfortunately does not run games as beautifully as my personal PC does. Now that has been all for today's episode of The Dose. I hope you guys did enjoy this series, and be sure to stay tuned because I will be doing this series pretty frequently because I enjoy it personally. It's just my opportunity to cover a couple news stories that I've been taking interest to and let you guys know some information about it without having to make individual videos for every single one. If you guys did enjoy the video, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to hear your opinions on the series in the comment section down below. But as always, this has been Lupus, and I will catch you guys in the next one.